I came across a piece in the paper about the Viking skeletons that had been discovered when they were excavating for the Weymouth Relief Road.
When you go to the place, when you see the building, when you meet the person, it's such a different experience from reading about it or seeing photographs.
There were 50 odd skeletons, and that the skeleton heads, the skulls, were discovered at some distance from the bodies. So this was clearly, it wasn't a plague pit, it was some scene where there had been violence done.
From this discovery, we set our ambitions for the project. We wanted the Chalk Legends to be hugely inspiring for the community, engaging groups from Dorset with members of the BSO routing the orchestra in the rural areas of the county. Tying in with the ambitions of the Cultural Olympiad, we aim to inspire young people and leave a legacy. The Chalk Legends achieved exactly that.
And we played around with the idea for a while, and I came up with this generic title of the Chalk Legends and started discussing how we could implement it. And it was always important that it wouldn't just be one event, but would be a series of events. And there were a number of very important aspects of it, that it would involve as many people as possible, that it would be, people could enter it at different levels, and that even if they didn't take part in the final performances in Weymouth, they could have contributed in some way. So we evolved this idea of doing village hall concerts, and I came up with the idea of writing a series of pieces that could be performed by amateur groups.
These groups were brought together in community concerts alongside ensembles from the BSO in chapels, community centres, village halls, castles and even a local Dorset pub. Amateur orchestras played alongside folk groups, ukulele bands and village choirs, to name but a few. The project was made up of 19 concerts over 2011 and 2012, with approximately 2,500 musicians participating in its events. Audiences of over 15,000 people attended the concerts of the Chalk Legends. The culmination of the project took place at the epicentre of the Olympics in Dorset, the Weymouth and Portland National Sailing Academy. We staged the newly commissioned opera-oratorio at the Academy by working alongside an artistic team made up of composer, director, choreographer, set and costume designers and lighting designer. Performing the work were BSO's Kokoro Ensemble, Bournemouth Symphony Chorus and Youth Chorus, Dance Southwest, Dorset Music Service, Drama Centre London, Voiceworks and the Arts University College in Bournemouth. 6 schools from Dorset also made up the youth chorus of 200 children.
In a way, it's been quite interesting because we have all worked on the piece as disparate groups. We've worked as a youth orchestra, we've worked as Kokoro, the youth chorus have worked separately, the symphony chorus have worked separately, the dancers have worked separately, the actors have worked separately. So only really in the last week have all these disparate groups come together and and actually started last Sunday when everyone began to realise that they were part of a very big whole. And in the last few days, everyone's really appreciated how everyone else has fed so much into it. I guess that's been the biggest challenge both for me and for Richard, the director, is to make everyone feel part of something that is so multifaceted.
I think so, just like nowadays, when you play in orchestras, you play music by composers that are long dead, but we see the composer walking in between us all the time. Like, you rarely get to talk to the composer that the piece you're playing. In that sense, it's quite refreshing to just like, to understand that classical music is still very much alive, especially in young people, so yeah.
I think the highlights really has been the number of different people who've been involved who have gained so much from it and appreciating what others do to make things happen. And for me, it's working with the actors and working with the dancers. You don't normally get to work with people like that all the time. And also, it's a real artistic melting pot with all of us having ideas and just sitting there thinking, oh, we could do that, or we could do that, whether it be the designers or the costume people or the choreographer or the lighting designer or me or the director or the composer. We're all feeding in. And I think that's what's so vibrant about it as an artistic function.
When we started learning it, we only learned a short suite of the whole piece and performed that at a different venue. So probably seeing it all come together here with everybody else, the opera and the dancers and everything, probably been...
I think it's the fact that they've got so many like young kids involved. Personally, I was just like impressed with the junior choirs, because the music itself is really, really difficult, and the fact that you see these kids that have like really spent ages working hard on such a really hard piece. It's quite good to see, I think, and it's testament to what people can do in the future. Maybe.
Yeah, I've been training the youth choirs. That's about 150 children from 6 different schools in the Dorset area, from Sherborne right down to Weymouth. And they're not special choirs, they are year 6s from the primary schools, they're various years from the middle schools, and year 7 to 10 in the secondary school. We've learned the specific parts of Chalk Legends that were written for them, and it's been 3 months of very hard work.
I found it really fun because it's different to what a concert normally is, because it's got all of the actors, the dancers, and it's not just the singing, which makes it more exciting.
Yeah, it sounds great, like put together with the orchestra. It sort of makes it sound really professional, and like, yeah, it sounds really good.
The children are absolutely electrified by it all, by the soloists, by the sound that the Bournemouth Symphony chorus make, the orchestra, and they're very proud of their part of it. They are part of it, they're not just children who happen to have done things. This is our show now, so that's been a fantastic experience.
It's loads of fun to sort of try new things and stuff, like it's like so different to normal concerts.
But it's just a different experience altogether, and it's something that we'll just remember for a long time.
Yeah.
My name is Neil, I'm the choreographer of the Chalk Legend, and primarily I've been working with the youth dance companies, which has been really, really interesting. I've thoroughly enjoyed working with them. So I've been working with them, and I've also been working with the actors as well. So I've sort of had to work in different spectrums in terms of how I've been dealing with each of the the dance companies and the actors. So it's been great, really enjoyable.
I like all the dancing. The fight's fun.
Yeah.
It's quite like the building, the tension, and the orchestra sound amazing. So it's quite something different dancing to an orchestra when they sound so good.
It's good to have the actors involved in the dancing as well. I think it really builds to it and adds
it helps
to a lot
us
of
to like act through the dancing as well.
Yeah.
We don't feel so stupid if they're like going for it. We haven't done a collaboration before. Part of and also when we do a piece, it's normally just like 3 minutes, whereas this is like obviously for a longer production.
For the last 5 years, I've had a post-running foundation course. I've always tried at the end of the course, which is 1 year, to see if there's a way in which I can get the students involved in some kind of professional, or in this case, large-scale professional project. So I've been very lucky the last 2 or 3 years in doing that, but this I think is the most epic of those outings, and it's a fantastic experience for them after studying. Most of them are going on to do a 3-year drama course after this, but to have something which has got all the rigour that professional production brings, it's a real proper experience for them, as opposed to a teaching experience. This is a real learning experience, I think you can express it that way, as opposed to just being taught.
Learned learned enough, like a good bit about kind of stage combat and stuff.
And how operas work, really, because we're all actors, so we're not really...
We're not like the focal point of it.
Yeah.
It's actually, I heard someone saying the other day that like, yeah, the music is the really important part of
Yeah,
this.
it is.
Like,
We just help.
singers,
We just help
but
put it
we
on.
help, like, yeah, we help kind of explain the story.
Yeah, and I'd say I've learned a lot about operas, that's the main thing. 'Cause we're actors, we're on the stage, and there's a very certain way of doing it. So operas are very, very different.
And doing that kind of movement work as well. I think we've learned a lot from doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, we spent quite a bit of time choreographing the battle, so we've got a big choreographed fight scene. I think with the full orchestra and everything in that, it's...
Yeah,
it
because
gets good to
I mean,
get
it's quite fun making a fight scene when you finally get the costume, the lighting, and then this massive orchestra playing with every
all the
fight.
choir as well. Yeah, the choir is
It's
like belting out the
insane.
songs. It is really
Absolutely
good. It is amazing.
But I'd wanted always for the whole piece to have 2 distinct feels to it. An ancient world with a Viking ship and Vikings and Saxons, da-di-da-di-da, but then to leap forward 1,000 years to the discovery of the skeletons. And so it was always my intention to have a large piece of machinery of something to do with road building to begin the second part. And you know, these things are terribly easy to write down. You kind of just sit at your computer and go, the door opens and a JCB drives in. And you kind of go, well, this will be great if it happens, but I fully expect that what we'll get is a concrete mixer being, you know, pushed in by 3 people.
And I think what's been incredibly inspiring is that all the people who've been involved have learnt from it and really got into it and been inspired by it. And that's how I think orchestras should work as part of their communities. I mean, it's great, and of course quite right, that an organisation like the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra performs the very best music with the very best conductors. And that's what should happen, and that's the core of a symphony orchestra's life, but it must also be part of its community. So in my opinion, these kind of projects like the Chalk Legends, which I think and I hope and I believe we keep the same kind of artistic standards for this work as we do for any other work the orchestra does, but that's why this work is just as important as any other work the orchestra does.
3 words off the top of my head.
Inspiring.
Energy.
Live, okay.
Certainly dramatic.
Innovative.
Probably modern, one of them.
360.
Huge. One word.
Explosive as well.
Exciting, that's my word.
Spectacle.
Poetical.
Visceral.
Visceral.
That is my word.
Visceral, that's a great word. Refreshing.
It's quite an enchanting performance as well.
And lasting.